All right, what's up? It's your boy Anthony Simmons here with Higher Heights. You already know what the vibe is tonight. I got a very special guest. I've been knowing this guy for a while. His name is Dave Randazzo. How you doing, Dave?
Doing great, Brian. Thank you.
That's what's up, man. Listen, I gotta introduce you to the followers here that I got on Higher Heights. So what I want to do is tell me a little bit about yourself, Dave. Give me a little brief synopsis or a history on you.
Sure. So I'm 56. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I was raised in a pretty rough neighborhood. I've traveled a lot around the country. I've lived in different places. I hooked up with Brian as a friend about 6 or 7 years ago. Very unlikely friendship, but a very valuable friendship for me.
Okay, cool. Well, this is the thing I wanted to talk about. First of all, before we do anything, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I need you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and then also hit the notification bell. You already know that I'm dropping a lot of content, and I need you to know when I'm dropping this. Thanks to everybody else who's already joined the fam, but don't be afraid to join the fam. All right, the topic tonight, that we're talking about. You brought this to me about a week or two ago, wanted to talk about it, and then also Netflix right now has out the Jeffrey Dahmer, a 10 episode series dealing with Jeffrey Dahmer, true crime and his real life situations and the crime that he did while he was alive. So have you seen that series yet?
I saw some of it, Brian, but I remember the story when I was in real time and the real story, and it is very true to the real story, and it's very ugly and
Well,
hard to
that's
swallow.
like people like us who are old enough to really remember, when that was actually going. I was a little boy, of course, but you can remember actually how it felt for that to be going on, hearing the adults talk about it. And of course, you were grown at that time. So tell me your experience about actually being around the real atmosphere of that.
Well, the world is a different place now, but I believe some people are just born evil. Um, it's sad but true. You've got guys like him and John Wayne Gacy and Ted Bundy and these extreme cases, and they are definitely a threat to society, and they can't be rehabilitated.
Now, hold on. I'm glad you said that because I think that's the perfect segue into what we're going to be talking about tonight, which is what capital punishment, right?
Yes,
Whether or not we lean on the side or not of whether capital punishment, the death penalty, in layman's term for people who don't understand, whether or not we think that is just or not. You're gonna get our opinions and some facts along with it as we go along this episode. So you need to really just stay glued to it because we're gonna get into it now. The interesting thing about the Jeffrey Dahmer case, right? He was tried in Wisconsin. And at the actual time that he actually got sentenced to death, they had no death penalty in Wisconsin at the time. They had outlawed it about 139 years ago. In 1853, Wisconsin banned it. So the interesting thing that I was going to tell you is that without having my personal feelings about capital punishment yet, the thing that I was gonna say if it was anybody that I thought deserved the death penalty, it would be somebody like Dahmer. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you feel about that, but if I not saying where I'm at, what I'm leaning toward yet, but if I was to say somebody deserved the death penalty, it would be somebody along the line.
absolutely.
Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy, Ted Bundy, Zodiac Killer, those type people to me fit the
Yeah, yeah,
criteria. If I was gonna say somebody, what about you? What do you think about that?
yeah. I mean, it's a sensitive subject, and people are split right down the middle. The research I've done is that the top three Christian denominations in this country are actually literally split. You've got the Catholic Church that is against capital punishment. You've got the
Right.
Methodist Church also that's against capital punishment. But the Southern Baptist or the Baptist Church is for capital punishment, but they're for it if it's fair, and they're for it if it's swift,
Hmm.
and someone doesn't stay in the prison system 20 years before they actually
So
give the
let's
sentence. So
and we
they
go.
do have stipulations to
So
how it should be done.
how quickly it should be done?
Yeah.
All right, so that's interesting too because, and we're gonna get into this a little bit later. But like, did you know that somebody that's sentenced to the death penalty actually, on average, stays on death row for about 10 years, even before they,
Right.
face it? And like to me, that's weird because I'm sitting here saying like, I'm gonna die. You got a death date, or well,
Yeah.
when I'm told when they're going through that, it's like they're going through legal recourse, trying to get it retracted, trying to get it taken back. But like I said, that's 10 years. Knowing you've been sentenced to death, that's got to be torture, man. What do
I
you think?
think that's a result of the split mindset of people.
Right.
Because it's split right down the middle, you have this constant struggle. Should we kill this person or not?
So you think it's more because like I said, when I did the research on it, when they sit in there that window of time, what they're doing is like constantly trying to go back to court and get it retracted. So you think they give them that window of time just in case, you know?
I think there's a lot of people that are against the death penalty out there, equal to the amount of people that are for it. And whenever you have the split down the middle like that, it's going to cause a rift in the way the laws are handed down.
Spoiler alert. Let me tell y'all something. Spoiler alert. I'm going to tell y'all why I'm for the death penalty. And I have no choice but to be for it. But here's the deal.
You're coming out,
No,
huh?
I'm coming all the way out because I got to tell y'all this.
Coming
Listen,
out already.
let me
Okay.
ask you a question, Dave. Who was the first person to execute the death penalty? Who was the first person to order the death penalty?
Oh, this is a question.
Yeah, it's a question, man.
A pop quiz.
Yeah, it's a pop quiz, man.
Who was the person to order the death penalty?
Who's the first person?
Well, it had to be in the Old Testament.
How do I put it? Who was the first person?
It had to be in the
enforce
Old
death-
Testament. There's no question.
Who's the first
Yes
person?
or no? Is it in the Old Testament? Yes,
It's
absolutely.
in the Bible, yeah.
Yeah, so God.
Hey, bro,
I mean, yeah,
I ain't gonna
yeah,
give you
yeah.
five on it
Okay.
because he was supposed to be shocked right there and not know the answer. And I was
Right.
supposed to be able to one up him and tell him, yeah, God,
Yeah,
man.
so let me ask you this, Brian.
Yo, real quick. Hold on, wait,
Do you
wait,
know
wait,
what-
wait, wait,
do you
wait,
know
wait,
what
wait, wait,
crimes
wait.
God said that capital punishment should be used for?
We gonna get there. Let me
right,
tell you why.
yeah, we
Like,
gotta
I
talk
gotta tell,
about
I gotta
that,
tell
though.
the viewers this. This is why people don't understand. We're all on this earth sentenced to death. You know, I'm a biblical man. I'm a faith man. So I do believe in God. If you're on this channel, I need you to go ahead and like and hit the sub because I'm about to tell y'all what. Like, I'm a godly man. And God says that we all have to face a death because of sin. And so actually, God's the first one to institute the death penalty. So we're all literally on this life journey getting ready to go down. What you had to say, sir?
Well, first of all, let me say this. I'm a strict believer that you obey the laws of the land. So
Right.
if you're somewhere where the death penalty is legal, you really don't have nothing to say about it. So this is more
Hold on.
my